Right. Dear Evan Hansen, directed by Stephen Chbosky, who previously did Perks of Being a Wallflower, and also directed Wonder. Who was that? Chris?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
I believe.
Wow. Starring Ben Platt, who plays Evan Hansen, who also played Evan Hansen in the original stage play.
That's important.
It's very important.
Yes.
Starring Julianne Moore, who plays Heidi Hansen, his mother. Caitlin Dever, who previously appeared in Booksmart. She was great in that.
Brilliant, yeah.
Great in that. Who plays Zoe Murphy. Amy Adams plays Cynthia Murphy, and Colton Ryan plays Connor Murphy.
It's quite a star-studded cast.
Quite a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Does pretty good with getting some good names on there.
Yeah.
Does it do well with them?
Well, so we'll briefly go through it. It's an adaptation of the musical, which is about Evan Hansen, who is a high school student that suffers from anxiety, social anxiety, and basically the story goes through a certain amount of time with him as he learns acceptance and understanding after the unfortunate suicide of a high school classmate.
Yes.
And right off the bat, from that small portion of just what this story is about, you can already tell that this is a film that deals with very sensitive issues and very, very difficult issues at times. And we both have not seen the musical.
No, we've never even listened to the original musical soundtrack.
Exactly. We were going into this very blind.
Completely blind.
And to be honest, I didn't really know the reputation that the musical had in general. I only knew utterance from a few friends.
Yeah.
That's all.
The friends who dragged us to see this film, in fact.
But for me, and you might be different, but for me, when the film finished, I had a very uncomfortable feeling in myself. And as the days went on and I thought about it more, I just think the story for me is just fundamentally problematic in my eyes. And like I said, haven't seen the musical, don't know what that's like, so maybe it completely changes. We'll talk about this film as a lone entity then. But the story in this film, I feel, is fundamentally problematic.
Wow.
And it's basically from the fact that... brilliant that you brought up the two previous films that the director has done, Perks of Being a Wallflower and Wonder, because I think those films are really well made and do incredibly for the subject issues that they deal with. I think it's very accepting and understanding. This film never feels accepting, it never feels understanding of the issues that it's trying to deal with, to the point where at the end, without giving away any spoilers, at the end, it never resolves or tries to talk really about the issues that it presents.
No.
There's no conversations. And for that reason, everything that happens in this film just made me feel sick to my stomach. It would have changed if by the end of the film there was an actual message and an actual teaching, a learning, an understanding of what it's trying to say, but it never has that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you...
Yeah,
what
I
you
mean,
thought.
like you've said multiple times, we've never seen the original play, we've never seen the original musical or listened to the soundtrack, so our views are entirely on this film. However, that doesn't mean we've not seen any of the conversations that have been happening around this film. Basically, everything I've seen about this film from people who have seen it is that it's incredibly problematic, that it doesn't follow the same beats, that it does things differently, it changes things around, changes song orders, adds songs, take away songs, and kind of changes the whole plot of the film. There are parts of it that are uncomfortable, but I feel that they are just made to be uncomfortable and make you feel uncomfortable and work within the stage play. It's weird to watch a film and my first thought be, oh yeah, the stage play's better, when I've never seen it. I had that feeling with In the Heights as well. It's just, as a on-screen musical, this fails.
Yeah.
Miserably. I was speaking to you about it, but I hold La La Land as that gold standard for on-screen musicals.
Yes.
There's not a moment in that film where anything feels awkward, everything feels natural, everything is whimsical, beautiful, gorgeous. It's lovely. It's a perfect film. And it's a perfect musical. It's exactly what it needs to be. But Dear Evan Hansen does this thing that I I've finally whittled down what it is that I dislike. I hate it when in musicals characters will start singing. Now, I don't mind
the fundamental point of a musical.
Now,
yes,
I understand that is a stupid point to bring up about musicals. However, my issue is that when they start singing, no effort is made to take them out of the scene. They are left within the scene that they are in which they were previously talking. When you do that, you are eliminating the point of the song, when they could have just had a conversation.
Yes.
In a stage play, this works because whenever a character is singing, there's always a spotlight, there's set changes, there's events happening around them. It's not just them static. Sometimes it is, but when it is static, that's because you want them to focus on the song. When two characters are sitting on a couch talking to each other and then one of the characters starts randomly singing and you aren't changing any of the shots, none of the lighting changes, none of the scenery changes, the character doesn't stand up, nothing happens, they're in the exact same position that they were when they were talking, and one character is just singing, it's awkward. So awkward that it becomes hard to watch. And there are many points during songs in this film which are hard to watch because no effort is made to make them any different from them just talking. Ben Platt, now, yeah. I'm sure the man is fantastic in the musical.
That's something. Before we slate him, I will say this. I feel like his acting is perfect for Broadway theatre production.
He is. You watch that man act and you say theatre actor.
Yes. But
when you put him on screen, it doesn't work for two reasons. One, he's old.
Yes.
He is
28.
He's 28,
I believe.
And he's supposed to be playing a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. He gets away with it sometimes, but then there are other times where the makeup is really weird, and
it's always very noticeable.
Always very noticeable, and it does take you out of the film a lot. Ben Platt's acting is, like you said, great for Broadway, terrible for film, because he is overacting everything he does, because that's what he's known to do, because he's a theatre actor.
Yes.
When you're a movie actor, you have to be subtle. So everyone else around him in this film is subtle with their acting because they're movie actors. Whereas Ben Platt's facial expressions and the way he moves and talks is also exaggerated because that's how he's played Evan for God knows how many years. And it just doesn't work at all. Why they didn't get anyone new for him, I don't know. And
I think it was actually a vanity thing. Because I remember ages ago reading somewhere that Ben Platt actually said that it would be too jarring for fans of the musical to watch this film and see someone else play Evan Hansen other than him.
No.
I think it was a vanity thing.
Well, Ben Platt, you're losing points of respect for me.
I know. Amy Adams as well. Amy Adams, I love Amy Adams.
Oh, she's
but
great.
Here I found her wooden.
No, she is wooden. She is wooden. She's quite one note. There's not much to her character apart from being mother.
Yeah.
And it is a bit. She is quite wooden, but I put that down to directing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this film is just all over the place, and I don't really like it much.
No.
Which I didn't expect to like it, and then I saw it and I didn't like it. So it's not like I'm hurt. It's just it's just what I expected.
Like I said, I had a more of a reaction to it necessarily than you did, but I did not like this at all. I thought it was when the film finished, I felt like it was disgusting in a sense with the way that it treated its subject, and I just didn't like it. And one scene that we'll talk about is there's a song that's very famous called "Sincerely Me," and that's what we've been talking about. And in this film, "Sincerely Me" plays much like I'm guessing how it would play in the actual musical. And while watching it, you said that it's a fun little musical number, and I agree. And let's say this: the songs are really, really good. The songs are well written, and in a vacuum, the songs work.
Yes,
and they're all of that. Not a bad thing. Sincerely Me, not a bad song. The scene that is played in comes 2 minutes after the news of Connor, which is the classmate who committed suicide.
Yes.
2 minutes after that news is broken to Dear Evan Hansen. To Evan Hansen. They do this musical number in which Connor comes back in a dreamlike state.
Very singing in the rain,
with
happy
smiles
dancing.
on his face, and they make it incredibly inappropriate with certain material, and I just turned off straight after that. I was like, this is completely ill-judged.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It sucks because it is one of the best musical sections of the film as well, because it does
From a standpoint,
because it does that thing that I was desperate for to happen, where it takes a musical number and takes it outside of the scene that it was originally began with, you know, and it works like that. But it is unfortunate that the context of that scene is not the best. But yeah, Dear Evan Hansen, the film, really not worth a watch. No. I just wait for the musical or see something else, or see Dune, which we'll be talking about after this next song.